Okay, so welcome back to another video. I was super tired because had been up since 5 o'clock the day before, and by 7, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I was just too exhausted to keep going, so I had to get some rest. Morning routine over with, so welcome back. Before I continue on, I just want to show you a few things and clear up some things just in case. Once you start up the uh, virtual machine, sorry, once you finish installing Windows Server 2022 and you first start it up, whether right after Armory Crate finishes installing or as it's installing or before you move it and plug it into the router with the wired network cable, that is when you should enable the Wi-Fi services like I was doing before. So just to clear it up, no, this is the crappy one. Hold on. Um, Wi-Fi. Just do Wi-Fi not working. Server. T22. I know the name of the site when I see it. So we go to here, and as you can see, then you just have to go to this site. I'll leave a description. I'll leave a link in the description, and just follow these instructions right after the server starts. If you want, you can just take a picture of it on your phone. They're pretty simple commands. It's not like anything crazy, or you can just like you can either do that. Well, they do the mixed one here, but um, if you want, you can just follow like install wireless LAN service using the server manager. So that's this right here. You go into the server manager, add roles and features. You select your server roles, and what do we? Yeah, it's a feature. So you just scroll down to the bottom, you select that, and then it'll install. You reboot, and then after it reboots, you go up. It'll open up the server manager again. You go to here, services. Scroll down to the best way to do it. Actually, I have it running now, so you just do it like this. Don't have to scroll all the way down. So you want to do this one right here, WLAN auto config, and you want to start that. And once you start it here, it'll always run automatically when you start up Windows. So after you do that, then either while Armory Crate's installing the chipset, you can do that, or before Armory Crate's as it's installing Armory Crate, or anytime before it's time to start I would say not to do it before the. It's best to do it before you do the install for Armory Crate. Restart it, and actually, no, yeah, you can do it because even once you do the first reinstall with Armory Crate, just don't reboot the computer when it asks you to. Just say don't reboot. And then install Armory Crate. Once you install Armory Crate, then you go to this icon here, the little tools icon, drivers, and you do the AMD chipset driver. There's the graphics driver, so it'll install all the drivers for you. Um, So that's why I was saying it's best to do it like either as Armory Crate's installing or before you install Armory Crate, just have it like done and ready so that way once Armory Crate installs, it installs everything, you reboot, everything works. I didn't do that in the last video, so it took an extra 10 minutes to figure out what step I missed. So yeah, and then once you do that, then after Armory Crate installs, reboots, there's still going to be your video cards that you have to set up. So first, set up the Nvidia graphics card so you can just easily, like, once it's reboots, you have Wi-Fi. If you want, you can shut it down, put it back to your normal workstation area, and keep working from there, or just do what I did. Pretty much basically set everything up as it's connected, and then once I took it back here, pretty much mostly everything was set up. And yeah, download the Nvidia graphics driver. So it depends on what you want to do. You can get the game ready or studio depending on what type of workflow you're doing, or if you're not doing any work and you're just gaming. um, then after, uh, as I was saying before, you need to download this driver here. So you need to get this, the non-WHL 2020. Hold on a second. I saw something earlier. I want to see something. I did a search. Let's keep that there. Let's go through history. Yeah, that's the same one. Okay. I saw something, so let's try something. Doing a little experiment here. You'll see what happens again if you try to install the graphic drivers. Really, I just want the system files. Because what version do I have? Well, I won't say here. But I believe, based on what I did, I got the other version. I didn't get this one. So I have one a little bit lower. So if I can get even 21.52 instead of 21.11, that's a win. Because yeah, I did this one instead of this one. So let's see what this one. 21.82. I hate untrusted. See, that's what you get. I'm just wondering. It has to be other. So since I couldn't show you the with my cell phone as clear as it could be, when you first install the Radeon graphics, you're just gonna go update driver, browse, browse. Make sure include subfolders is selected. Well, I guess they say it's already installed. But you might want to try the other ones first, see which one works best for you. So far, this one works good, I guess. Really, when you're dealing with the integrated graphics card, one, like it's not like you're dealing with like the integrated graphics card is like technically the old RX Vega cards from back in the day. So it really doesn't matter about like what the chipset is or like what the Nvidia graphics is. All of them should recognize it as the same. So it's mostly, I guess, if you want newer, like when you're getting into newer graphics cards, then you'll have a problem, but because you won't be able to update it and get all the new fixings. But for me, like in the end, pretty much, I'm just going to be using this as like the integrated as just to run Windows, the server, because all of the RAM for the most part is going to be allocated to other things. So when you're dealing with virtual machines, that's just usually how it works. So yeah, run this before you start the install for the uh, Armory Crate. Really, just right after you do the first login on your server, just do it right then and there, get it out of the way, and then once you plug it into the network, then you're good to go. If you're already plugged into the network, then just do whatever you feel is best. One of the other things that you'll notice is that the reason why it could be really amazing to turn this into a gaming laptop is one, you get all the bells and whistles that server comes with, or sorry, a gaming laptop, a gaming desktop to use this operating system. You get all the bells and whistles of Server 2022, but one thing you haven't noticed is, unlike Windows 11, like one thing you notice is that you don't get all of the bells, all the shiny bells and whistles and stuff. Like there's no widgets, there's no like all the other stuff. There's no bulk running in the background. Like there's only the server stuff, which is pretty much usually pretty lightweight. Like let's go to the task manager. Like you can see, um, like everything just runs so efficient. Like nothing's really killing computer process. Like even OBS Studio, if I run OBS Studio on a Windows 11, there's just so much things in the background running that it ends up taking like, I guess, to help it or to do whatever, it just ends up like taking like 19-20% of the CPU power. Like it's whatever, but you have to deal with it. But you can see like there's not really anything crazy. It's just pretty much the basic Windows stuff and whatever server things you want to add onto it. Like you can pretty much even make it like strictly almost bare bones. So like the defender works properly. It's not like as invasive because it's a server, right? So the server is always running things in the background. So the defender smart screen can't be all up in the server's business all the time. So it works a little bit differently. Like, because if you notice, like on the like when you go into your task manager, you're gonna have all these Windows Defender, Windows health check Windows this, Windows that, Windows. Like Windows, everything to do with Defender is like your computer is being bombarded, and not the the Windows Defender, the smart screen, and all of the security things. It's like I'm streaming a game, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it'll just start slowing down, and yeah, Windows, the security features are just deciding to do something because they're deciding to do something. And it's like, I just have to kill the process and stop it. I managed to figure out a workaround for that and some other things. And that I can tell you, like, it's easy. So, like, when you first get your computer, what you do is first you harden it. Um, you take out all of the services that you don't need. So on Windows 11, it comes with just a whole bunch of crap that you just wouldn't use, really. So you delete that. Some of the programs and stuff I delete. And then after you go into your group policy and you can disable things like Internet Explorer. You can disable how you can sort of control more how um, Windows Defender and all that stuff works. So it's just not always in your way. So I did that, and then what you do is you reset your PC. This is before you install anything. Like for me, I just usually have Windows running on its own separate hard drive, and I don't really install anything like other than programs. And then I always keep backups of the programs or whatever, try and get the most up-to-date programs and everything like that. So it that way, if there's ever an issue with Windows, I can, like, reinstalling in Windows is never an issue because it's only just Windows on that hard drive. And then I have all my applications, all my saved data is usually stored anyways, like you'll keep all your saved data. So you just have to reinstall the applications, and I never install lots of applications anyways. I usually try and keep my computer nice and clean. If I don't use it, I delete it. Like, yeah, I'll go try something, and then I'm like, 2 weeks later, it's like, oh, I haven't touched this. Delete. You know, services that I don't use, disabled. So that way, everything is like, even sometimes when I'm doing like recording games, there's barely, like, I'll close down 90% of well, 100% of everything that I'm using in the task manager. So I would just come here, AMD blah blah blah, close, don't need it. um, can't do anything with that. With Armory Crate, I would suggest after you installing it, this is technically the only way to update your computer now, because you can't go and download any new updates from AMD or from Asus. So, like, I have the drivers for Windows 11 and everything. They don't install, so you have to use Armory Crate. But yeah, that is one of the reasons why this could be good for a gaming PC, is because there's just not that much crap running in the background. It's only the, like, if you want, this is bulky for a Windows server. You can just have it running just command script, like no graphical user interface. But then there's a problem with that, and that is you have to be connected to a wire, because that's like super secure. You reduce the surface area, so it's really hard to hack into the server without because the graphical interface can open up attack vectors for hackers to use. So if you don't have the graphical interface, then it makes it easier. But all in all, if you're smart and you don't download anything stupid, and you know what you're downloading, and if you do have to try and download stupid, this is where virtual machines come in. Because virtual machines, you can just load up a virtual machine in 5 minutes, go download what you need to download, install it, see what happens, run the antivirus test, see if you get a virus. So that's how you use it. That's how you can virtual machines are the future now. So I would suggest you get on board with this. This is the future. And then also, as it's perfect for a gaming PC because now with discrete device discrete device assignment, you can assign PCIe devices to VMs, i.e., your video card, and yeah, you're good to go. And with modern virtual machines, like you can, like, I might get an NAS because that would be cool, and then you can just boom pump up virtual machines on the go. But I would need like definitely need to see how much memory like RAM my motherboard can support because I would go up to 128 gigs at that point because then you would technically want each PC to have like what, say 12 to 16 gigs. 12 is good for a virtual machine, but yeah, you would give each one 16 gigs or so, and maybe even 24. And then you can do like what, 24, 48, um, what, 72. So you can do about 4 virtual machines and then still have 28 gigs of RAM or so running, 20-ish something gigs. I guess another 24 gigs running just the server and everything. And if you want, you can steal some of that too. Because really, if you're running virtual machines, as you saw, everything's lightweight. You can really run the server on just 4 gigs of RAM and 2 CPUs. That's the minimum. Actually, I even think you can even do 2 gigs of RAM to just, and you can take the rest. Like I can, it has the thing, but like I said, the servers are like so lightweight. Once you can get your hardware working, it's completely worth it. And I'm so happy that like this is all working because the amount of like I mean it wasn't hard, but just reading and everything, there's not really much um, documentation or YouTube videos or anything like that for my specific like Ryzen 7. Everything's all old. I guess maybe they've done some fixes now, so they don't need a they don't need there's no need for tutorials or anything like that. Like any hard tutorials, like you could probably just like would do what I did, figure it out willy nilly. But it's nice to have this here, so that way you can um, make it a lot simpler. Because really, once you get everything down, it's not that hard. So I just wanted to do that just to explain some of this. This video is already 25 minutes. I might break it up into 2 or just cut out some of the extra talk. Actually, no, I'll just leave it in. It's good, like, if you're really setting this stuff up, this is all good information that you'll want to know. Just because sometimes you think, oh, he's just talking blah, 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 yap, 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 as one commenter tried to tell me. But I guarantee you, when you do try to set this up, you'll come back to this 24-minute video and you'll listen intently. And then you'll go to the next video when I'm done. Because you'd be like, oh, what site what did he go to? Oh, da 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 da. Oh, what was he saying about? Yeah, you're going to definitely, like, maybe not listen to everything, but you're going to be skipping through looking for the individual bits and pieces where I talk about things. These services, this is the Asus. It it's just waiting for the, like, it's not doing anything, so it's just waiting for the call from the armory crate to look for an update. So I just don't even, if I start it in 20 minutes or so, it'll just come back again and go back to being an error. So I'll just leave it. Okay, so now we're going to get into, well, I'll start this on the next video. Now we're going to get into Hyper-V, which as you can see, I've already installed. After you do I will save that for later, but see you in the next video and have a good day.